Hello and welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. We're going to introduce you to just a handful of our adoptable pets in this episode. Our first guest today is a relatively new addition to our adoption floor. This is Mel B, and she is one of our older dogs. We don't have a lot of dogs that we would consider seniors on the floor right now, but at 5 years old, Mel B is considered a senior and would qualify for any of those senior discounts that we provide. She is a pit bull type dog terrier mix, beautiful little girl. She's that great blue color, but you're going to notice that her coat isn't as good as some of the other dogs. She did come in with some skin conditions that we have definitely spent some time investigating, examining, running tests, having our vet and all of our medical staff look at that. And so anybody interested in making her part of their family should definitely go through and read that medical. We've noted some alopecia, some otitis, conjunctivitis. We've also noted some tooth damage that she has. We've been medicating her, giving her medicated baths as well, really working on doing that. All the potential causes are listed here. So it's just something that you want to go through and look through. We are happy to have any of our medical team members chat with you if you are concerned and you don't necessarily fully understand her conditions. We're also happy to print off her medical so you can take it to your vet and have them look at it so that you have a better understanding before taking her on and making her part of your family. But beyond those medical issues, she's just a very friendly, excited girl. She has a lot of potential. She might be considered a senior here, but that definitely isn't slowing her down. She's definitely full of energy and has a lot of love to give. She is still working on those basic manners. She hasn't necessarily had a lot of that training early on in her life. So she's still working on, not pulling when she's on leash, keeping her feet on the ground. And that's something that we try to work with the dogs, but that's something that you're going to have to continue to work with her in a home environment. She does like toys. She is a huge fan of treats. And she also is a dog where I hope you don't mind getting a little bit of drool on you because she has a pretty big tongue that's always out. She's always excited and she will slime you. A couple of our volunteers went and interacted with her for the first time and they definitely noted that there was a little bit of slime involved. She has, again, a lot of potential. She enjoys affection, but she can get a little bit nervous sometimes. In certain situations, we've noticed she's a little bit cautious. We've also noticed that because she can be a little bit mouthy sometimes, doesn't necessarily know when to keep her feet on the ground, that she might be best suited for families that don't have really young children. So that's something to consider and to think about. But if you think that yours is the perfect home to help Mel B resolve all of these skin issues and get her on the right track, you can go to visit fcac.as.me to book an appointment and start that process. If you liked the look of Mel B, but you're looking for a dog that's maybe a little bit better with the kids, then another one of our new residents, Patty, might be a good option for you. She is a 2-year-old terrier mix. And while she has been a little bit shyer here with us, a little bit more cautious, we recently showed her to a family with children and they were younger kids and she did amazingly well according to our staff notes. She was trying to get into the kids' laps and lick their faces. So, she definitely was comfortable with those kids based on our experiences, and we'll continue to document those experiences as we often do to make sure that we're using all of the information that we're gaining from our interactions with the dogs and the interactions of the public with those dogs so that we can continue to work towards finding them the best living environment for them. Now, I did mention that she can be a little bit shy, sometimes nervous, kind of lagging behind when she's walking, but definitely a friendly dog. Very sweet and happy and wiggly, loves attention, loves to be close to her people. And she's also done really well in terms of her reactions to other dogs. We have so many people that are coming in with existing dogs in their home and they want companions for them. And some of our dogs just prefer to be the only dog in the home, but Patty is one that seems to be doing well when she's interacting with the dogs here in this facility. So kind of keeping that in the back of your mind as well. She's fairly easy to walk, but again, can lag behind. So, doing some confidence building things, training is always a great way to build confidence. It lets them know that they can be successful and that continues to grow on itself. But, walking next to you, not lagging behind. And when they're doing that, making sure that you're not pulling them, teaching her to sit, rewarding her, all of those things things can build on itself and have a great positive result for the dog, in addition to just teaching her those good manners that most people want their animals to have. She has noted some instances of kind of getting excited when she's been getting a lot of attention. So just watching that body language and making sure that we're de-escalating those things before she might get to the point where she's being a little bit mouthy and things like that. But all in all, she's been doing really well here. The only thing that we noted that might be a restriction of sorts is that we currently have a rooster available for adoption. He lives out in our chicken coop, and Patty is not a fan of Popeye the rooster. So if you have chickens on your property, then that might be kind of a deal breaker for her. She was not into the rooster, barking, hackles up, so uncomfortable with the rooster situation. So there's a very limited people that would eliminate from adopting Patty, but something to think about. But otherwise, she has a ton of potential, and we're hoping that we can find her an adoptive family soon. If you think that you're that family, obviously you're going to want to book an appointment to meet with her, and you can do that by going to visit fcac.as.me. Another one of our newer additions to the adoption floor is the largest dog that we have on the adoption floor, weighing in at just over 92 pounds. This is Maisie, and we mentioned drool a little bit earlier when we were talking about Mel B. If you want to make Maisie part of your family, you definitely have to be okay with a little bit of drool. She is a Rottweiler Great Dane mix, both fairly drooly dogs combined into one adorable little bucket of drool there. She has those beautiful kind of red and tan colors. She's just so cute, but she is, obviously a big girl. She's 2 years old, so she might fill out a little bit more, but this is going to be her size. So just being prepared for a relatively large dog and all the stuff that comes with that, and handling them, making sure that, you have space for them in your home, that type of stuff. She was brought to us as an owned animal. Unfortunately, the family was moving and they were unable to take her with her. While she didn't live in a home with dogs previously, she did interact well with other family members' dogs. So she was able to be dog friendly and not have any issues there. She was also around children in her previous home. They had, nothing really bad to say about her. Here in this environment, however, she has been a little bit more nervous, which is understandable. This is a very stressful environment, especially if you're not used to it. So she has been reacting a little bit nervously. She's still friendly, but we are, letting everybody know, like, go slow with her. And that's something that adopters need to be aware of when you're meeting her. Just take things nice and slow, be patient. She may also need that once she transitions into your home as well. Right now she's, friendly. She's been reacting favorably to the other dogs, but getting her on the leash and things like that, getting her in and out of the kennel takes a little bit of coaxing. She does kind of lag behind. She's a little bit nervous when she's out on a walk. So doing those same kind of confidence building things that we were talking about with all of those basic training things where they can be successful, they learn how to be successful. It really builds on those confidences. She does know sit. I did ask her to sit. She also knows that her name is Maisie. And when I said her name to her for the first time, she was so excited. So, using those things, you can use name recognition as a great way to kind of boost confidence too, and build that training rapport. If you say your name, she turns and looks at you, you click and treat. It really builds on itself, and it teaches her, what the training premise is, and helps her move forward with that. She does enjoy attention, and she likes to be petted, but sometimes she can be a little bit tense. She doesn't like her ears touched. So just kind of, watching the body language, petting her where she enjoys until she's comfortable, and kind of staying away from areas where she's maybe less comfortable. But she's another dog with a ton of potential, and just needs the right family to come along and get her back into an environment where she feels more comfortable, which is going to be that home environment. If you're interested in making her part of your family, obviously going to our booking site to make that appointment is going to be important, because she may, get scooped up pretty quickly because she's an interesting breed. If you want to verify that she's still available before coming in, you can give us a call at 301-600-1546, or you can email us at animalcontrol@frederickcountymd.gov. Our next guest is no stranger to the show. He's made multiple appearances, and that's unfortunately because he is one of our longest residents. He just celebrated a birthday. So Evan first came to our facility in March of 2023. He was with us for quite some time before getting adopted. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. And about a month and a half later, he was back in our facility, where he's been with us ever since. And we don't necessarily understand why he hasn't been chosen. We know that he does have some things that make it more challenging to place him, but all in all, he is a great dog, very kind of low maintenance. He does need to be the only pet in the home. He's not really into other dogs. He's not had some of the best interactions with them, and he thinks that all small furry creatures are things to kind of chase. So small animals like cats and guinea pigs wouldn't be well suited for his home either. But, if you're looking for, just one guy to kind of be your world's, your dog child, if you will, then that's the kind of life that he is really suited for. He loves to cuddle on the couch and go for car rides and hikes, and he loves all kinds of snacks. He thinks that training is really fun, and he's so smart and is able to do a lot of different things. Recently we taught him how to dig so that he could be part of the shelter's groundbreaking ceremony. So he has a lot of really wonderful qualities, but he just wants to be the only pet in the household. He also has some issues with his vision, nothing that impedes him from, catching a snack when it's thrown in the air. He's really great at catching those treats, but he does have some poor peripheral and night vision that makes it so that he's a little bit more easily startled if people greet him from the side or from the back. He really wants you to kind of meet him face first so that he can see you. You don't want to kind of dart in from the side because he has that poor peripheral vision. And nighttime can be a little bit scary for him. So, we do recommend crating him at night and giving him that safe zone. He really does better in an environment with an established routine where there's not tons of people coming and going, especially late at night. He is crate trained. He's perfectly content going in a crate, doesn't have any issues with those things. And he does also need to be supervised with toys. If you follow our social media, you may be aware that a while back he ate some squeakers. So you want to make sure that any of those toys that have things that he might potentially be able to swallow, you're always interacting with those things with him under supervision so that you can trade him and get rid of those squeakers and things like that as the toy gets destroyed. But all in all, he is a wonderful dog who just deserves that right family. And we're going to be here for him until he finds that family. If you want to learn more about him, you can always check out our social medias. And Evan actually has his own social media. He has his Instagram, and you can follow all of his adventures at everyday.evan.323. And if you see what you like and you want to meet him and potentially make him part of your family, you can go to visit fcac.as.me to book that visitation. Another dog that we just can't understand why he hasn't found a forever home is Husky. He is our 1-year-old Husky mix. He has the greatest coat. It is such a beautiful coat, great colors, but he also has just the sweetest, most soulful eyes. It's hard to look at him and understand why people haven't snatched him up, right? So he is just a super fun-loving, easygoing guy. He is great with other dogs. He doesn't seem to have issues with cats. Instead, he seems to feel a little bit more leery of them than the alternative there. He has interacted with some of the younger kids of our staff, and he just rolls over and wants belly rubs. He's just a fantastic dog. In fact, he was adopted, but then after about a week, he was brought back because the family started to have some issues medically, and they just didn't think it was a good time for them to have a dog any longer. So they brought him back to us, and he's been here with us since Thanksgiving time-ish, really, and super friendly. He does like to jump up on you, but like in a very gentle way, like he's been taught hugs in a previous home or something, and he wants to be close to you. He loves to flop over and get belly rubs. He is perfectly happy being brushed, which is a great thing because he's a Husky, and so he needs a lot of kind of grooming maintenance there. He's very playful. He's easy to walk. Like all of our volunteers are able to walk him. He's not one of those dogs that's pulling or anything like that. Some of the things that we have noticed about him is that he doesn't really like the crate. He definitely doesn't want to go into a crate. So if crate training is something that you're going to be thinking about, you're really going to have to do that really slow counter conditioning desensitization to kind of get him comfortable with that. But an alternative might just be, using baby gates to keep him isolated while he's, learning the lay of the land in a new home. The other thing is that sometimes he doesn't like to share his stuffies. In my experience, he's been fairly gentle with them. Wants to carry them around like he's a lab and show you his babies. But when you try to take those away, he's not as comfortable with that idea. So really working with him on, the I come in peace protocols, which, tells the dog when somebody comes near them with when they have their toys, that they get rewarded with food. So it's a good thing when people are near them when they have their toys, teaching him a trade instead of just pulling things away from his mouth, so that he learns again that he's getting something when he gives something up. All of those things are going to be really important. And we do typically go over those things when we do our adoption consultations with new families so that they're getting all of that information and they have the tools to be set up for success. But, other than those two little things, like he's a really kind of easygoing dog that's going to be well suited for a variety of homes and families. Because of the minor resource guarding issue, definitely not recommending, super young kids in the household. So, taking that into consideration as well, making sure that your kids are going to be safe. I believe that we changed that to just no small children. So, kids that are over the age of 6 that you can kind of explain, hey, we're not going to pull toys from Husky and things like that. But if you want to be the family to finally get him settled in his forever family, going to visit fcac.as.me is going to be that first step. So you can go ahead online and book that appointment today. Our final guest today is our second Husky that's still available for adoption. This is Fang, and he's about 2 years old. Fang is one of our dogs that is recommended for teens and adults. That's because Fang is one of those dogs that's still working on his manners. He likes to jump up. He can be a little bit mouthy, but our staff is really diligently working with him on those things. And sometimes the stress of the shelter can exacerbate any of those types of issues. And we know that they notice that sometimes they get better in a home environment where things are a little bit more calm and relaxed. Those routines are more established. There's less noise, less weird smells, things like that. So making sure that people are checking out his behavior notes so that they're seeing the things that we were seeing what we're working on with him to resolve those things is going to be really important to make sure that people are prepared for those things. He is a dog that came in from a home with a bunch of other dogs, most notably Daisy, who has since been adopted quite some time ago. So he is comfortable with other dogs. He's been doing, parallel walks and having little kind of play dates with some of our existing other residents. So that's something that might help him, especially since when we adopted out Fang once previously, he was returned because he was having issues with being left alone. So sometimes a canine companion can help dogs who have issues being left alone. In his previous life, he was surrounded by a lot of other dogs. So even when humans weren't around, he always had some friends. And when he was left alone for the first time, he really kind of struggled with that. So he's also going to need an owner that's going to be patient and able to help him work through those things so that he can learn that it is safe and okay to be home by himself. And those are things, again, that we will discuss with anybody who is adopting to make sure that they have some of those tools and at least have some initial guidance and guidelines before maybe taking it on their own or seeking professional help from a different trainer organization, so on. But he definitely is a friendly guy. He loves attention. He has the most adorable little husky temper tantrums. He has a lot of really great qualities, but he does have some of those basic manners, things that he needs to work on. And again, just, being comfortable with being left alone is going to be a big to-do for him. Generally, he walks pretty well on a leash. We've been walking him on a long line, which gives him a little bit more freedom to explore, which he seems to really like. And just, he's on a martingale when he's doing that. So he is fairly easy to walk, which is always a good thing. And then because he is a husky, you are going to have to, worry about doing the grooming maintenance and making sure that that's getting done. We took him outside the other day and brushed him out a little bit, and there's still like enough fur out in the grass there for an entire small dog. So just making sure that you're prepared for all of that grooming maintenance that's going to come with any of those husky mixes. Fang is definitely one of those guys. But if you think that you have the patience to work with him on his good manners and to help him learn that it's safe to be left alone, and you really want to make Fang part of your family, then go ahead and go to visit fcac.as.me to start that process. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed meeting these amazing adoptable pets. Keep tuning in for more.